See this? There's nothing on this table. You've heard the puns, seen the transparent back and those lights, and you probably assumed you know exactly what the Nothing Phone 1 is. It's a hype phone. Nothing more, nothing less. But is that all there is to it? Is there actually a good phone underneath it all? Well, I spent some time with the Phone 1 at the Malaysian launch event, and here's what I have to say about it.
Modern smartphone releases have become quite boring. It's usually about specs and features. For us, with the Phone 1, we wanted to bring something fresh to the market.
The hype train has been building up since Carl Pei left OnePlus to start Nothing in 2020. The company attracted a slew of big-time investors, even before it launched its first product, the striking Year 1 wireless earbuds, last year. It's no wonder that the new phone launched to such fanfare. And that's before you get to the phone itself. I mean, just look at it. We haven't really seen companies innovate how smartphones look like in a long time. Usually you get new colors, new materials, and nowadays you get folding phones as well. But a transparent phone with those lights, now that's a first. The clear glass back immediately links the Phone 1 to the Year 1, and although you don't really get to see the internals because it's all been tidied up, it's still an unusual design. You're not going to mistake it for someone else's phone when you put it face down on the table. Now, I usually prefer darker colors on my phones, but I have to say I actually like the white version better because it showcases the back of the phone to full effect. This is despite the fact that the black model shows off the lights better, which we'll get back to in a sec. While the back of the Phone 1 is certainly unique, the rest of the design is a little bit different. Let's be real here, this just looks like an iPhone 12, especially with its aluminium rails, the dual camera setup, and the flat front and back. It doesn't feel as solid as an iPhone, however, even though at 193 grams, it's barely any lighter than the iPhone 13 Pro. The matte finish on the aluminium frame also isn't quite as smooth as I remember an aluminium iPhone to be. Then again, you're not paying flagship prices, so I guess I can let this one slide. What I do like is the front of the phone. Like the iPhone, the bezels are symmetrical all the way around, but here, you don't get a notch. This is what I've always wished the iPhone would look like, even though the location of the 16 megapixel hole punch selfie camera isn't quite aligned with the top left corner, which is a little bit annoying. But you're not here for the clear glass back or the slightly derivative design. No, you're here for the glyph interface, which lights up the entire back of the phone. There are over 900 LEDs back here, creating a distinctive pattern that takes the phone's cyberpunk aesthetic and runs with it. No, you can't set it up to be lit up all the time, so the phone won't attract quite so much attention in real life, for better or for worse. What the glyph can do is play a light show whenever you get a call, and it syncs up to whatever ringtone you choose. The preset ringtones are very aggressive, and they are a little bit screechy for my taste, but that's personal preference. What's good is that it appears a software update has already been pushed to allow the glyph to respond to custom ringtones, although we couldn't test it on the display units. Other features include bespoke notification sounds with their corresponding glyph patterns, a silent flip to glyph mode that uses only the lights for notifications, and a charging indicator. None of this will be particularly relevant if you put your phone face up, like most people do, but props to Nothing for trying something different. The pricing of the Phone 1 puts it around on par with higher-end versions of the iPhone SE, as well as premium mid-range Android devices such as the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE and the Poco F4 GT. But whereas those phones carry flagship specs for the price, the Nothing Phone 1 is decidedly mid-range. You get a Qualcomm Snapdragon 778G Plus processor, which is just okay. Obviously, the demo phones at the launch event felt fast and responsive, but it's hard to get a proper feel for the speed from just a few minutes of using it. All models get 256 gigs of storage, with buyers only being able to choose between 8 and 12 gigs of RAM. Unlike in other markets, you can't get the Phone 1 with 128 gigs of storage. At the front of the phone sits a 6.55-inch OLED Full HD Plus display with an adaptive 120Hz refresh rate. It's a joy to use. It's sharp, with vivid colors that emphasize the red used in the interface, and the animations are buttery smooth. That said, we've seen users complain about a green tint on their units, as well as dead pixels. There have also been instances of the diffuser strips on the glyph lights starting to peel already. These issues seem to be limited to units in India. Nothing says the incidences are rare, and none of the phones that we saw at the event exhibited the same problems. Still, it's something you need to bear in mind before you buy one. The Nothing Phone 1 also comes with two 50-megapixel cameras, and neither of them are particularly outstanding. The main camera actually did a decent job when the space was brightly lit, producing sharp images with natural colors. Once the lights were dimmed, however, it started to struggle a little bit, slowing shutter speeds right down even when not in night mode. It also had difficulty focusing on closer subjects. The photos from the ultra-wide camera, on the other hand, were a little bit soft when I zoomed in, so don't expect world-beating image quality here. Portrait mode did okay considering the cluttered background of the event space. All of this is to say that the Phone 1's cameras won't please pixel peepers like myself, but they're generally good enough for taking photos for social media. The Phone 1 takes 4K videos at 30 frames per second and 1080p videos at 30 and 60 frames per second. It can also shoot slow-mo videos at 120 frames per second. We didn't get to test the video performance during our short time with the device, but given that the main camera uses both optical and electronic image stabilization, it should be fine for most use cases. The glyph lights can also be used as a fill light, but they're not really bright enough to be useful unless you're really close to the subject. The Phone 1 ships with Android 12, lightly skinned with the Nothing OS. There are custom fonts, widgets, and wallpapers, as well as a few redesigned apps. Most notably, the voice memo app resembles a tape recorder, which is a nice touch. Other than that is the usual pleasant Android experience without any bloatware, which is always a good thing. Nothing does claim that the launcher is open source, letting other developers add new functionality to the quick settings menu. For instance, you'll be able to unlock, turn on the air conditioning, and check the range of your Tesla. Not that that's of particular relevance to the Malaysian market, as Tesla isn't officially sold here. You can also apparently check the battery of a pair of AirPods, which is funny because, as you know, Nothing does make its own wireless earbuds. Finally, we come to battery life. The Phone 1 comes with a 4500 mAh battery, which is claimed to offer 18 hours of use. There's also 15-watt wireless charging and 5-watt reverse wireless charging. And the cool thing is that the part of the glyph around the charging coil lights up when you reverse charging. The phone's wired fast charging isn't particularly fast though. It peaks at just 33 watts. So is the Nothing Phone 1 the right phone for you? That depends on what you're looking for. Obviously, the specs are a little bit underwhelming for the price, and that's before you consider the fact that dealers are throwing discounts at similarly priced products. That, of course, is not going to be the case for the Phone 1, at least while the demand is still sky high. The fact of the matter is, this phone is priced around the mid 2,000 ringgit range, and the transparent back and the glyph lights aside, you can get a similar user experience for less than 2,000 ringgit. Often, as with the case with Samsung phones, you'll get better features like Samsung Pay. But it's hard to deny how compelling the Phone 1 looks. It's just different, and underneath it all, there's actually a solid, if unspectacular, smartphone. And it's great that Nothing's first phone isn't some unobtainable, super expensive device made from gold or diamonds or something. And you can go out and buy one now. While the initial drop has been sold out, you can pre-order the Phone 1 through Nothing's pop-up store at Star Hill. It will then go on sale on August 1st through SendQ, DirectD, TMT, Satu Gadget, and Nothing's official Lazada and Shopee stores. That's the model with 8 gigs of RAM, which is priced at 2,399 ringgit. The 12GB model, priced at 2,699 ringgit, will be available in mid to late August. We do not know yet whether Nothing will offer any service centers in Malaysia, but it is setting up its own local office for servicing in the future. More information on warranty and servicing will be announced later on. Let's be clear, most people who want to buy the Nothing Phone 1 won't care about the specs as long as it works well. They're not going to play a lot of games, and they're certainly not expecting DSLR-like image quality. Hell, they're probably not even going to watch this video. No, they're going to buy this phone for the way it looks. They want something that stands out, and this thing delivers in spades. And frankly, there's nothing wrong with that. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell icon so you won't miss any of our future videos. That'll be all. Bye-bye.